Welcome to the My Tribe podcast. Today, our esteemed guest is Mr. Brian Cohen. Thank you so much for joining us, Brian.
Of course. Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, man, it's such an honor. I was blessed to be introduced to you from your brother, Dr. Michael Cohen, who's my great friend and chiropractor. And he connected us, and it was in the midst of when you guys were or are still starting Sauna and Chill. Tell me a little bit about that.
Excellent. So, my brother and I originally had this concept to introduce contrast therapy to the world. There are some places that currently do it. It's basically just high heat finished saunas and cold plunge experience. And they have those two therapies together have an amazing health benefit, both physically and mentally. So, my brother and I've come from an entrepreneurial marketing background. My brother owns his own business. We kind of came together with this, and we have a really unique concept with Sauna and Chill.
That's amazing. So what inspired that?
To be honest, I went through some personal issues a few years ago and was searching for answers on how to feel better. I tried pretty much everything in the book, and I was on a phone call with my brother. He cares about me and loves me a lot, and he suggested to me, this was about 2 years ago. He goes, "You should try cold plunge. I heard that's really good for depression and anxiety." And I'm like, "Yeah, man, I'll try anything at this point." So I Googled cold plunge in my area, and at the time I was living in Central Florida, and there's nowhere to do it. And even in major cities around me, Tampa, there's nowhere that offered cold plunge. And I immediately, like, my business brain went off, and I called my brother back like an hour later. I was like, "Hey, there's nowhere to do this around here." I'm like, "We should open one of these up." And he's like, "Yeah, I've been thinking about that for a while. Let's put a plan together."
Beautiful. And where are you in that process at the moment?
We are setting to launch our first location in the next 3 weeks,
How long?
about 3 weeks away from opening.
3 weeks from opening. Wow. And where's that location going to be?
It's going to be in South Tampa, Florida. Great location, very nice area, very close to the water. The community's been very receptive to us so far, and we're very, very excited to get this first one open.
Wow. And what's your vision for that first one? What do you hope to do with it? Bring to the world? What do you hope it contributes to the world?
So I want to bring contrast therapy to the masses. There's a few places that offer it now, 2 years later. The price point is very expensive. We want to come in much lower. I want it to be a very community based retreat, so to speak. The property is very unique, it's very welcoming, and I just want people to be able to come there whenever they want on no time restriction. Sauna, as much sauna with their friends, sauna with their girlfriends, sauna with their wives, cold plunge together. We want it to be a really unique community based environment.
Mm, that's a very unique vision. I love the community aspect of it. I don't think there's enough of that in this world today. And I think that if there is, it's centered around drinking and partying. And I know that's fortunately and unfortunately, I have people that love for the rest of my life out of that community, if you will. And I know it didn't serve future me super well, but it was a great time when I was doing it. And I think that a community such as this would be very comparable in the sense of like gathering like-minded people and achieving biohacking and positive results long term. I think that's an amazing goal to have. Wow, that's a beautiful.
100%. After work, hey, let's meet at Sauna and Chill. Let's talk about our day and vibe in the sauna, and cold plunge together and really encourage each other. Instead of going to the bar and drowning your sorrows away, so to speak. Which there's nothing wrong with that. Again, I'm you know down for a good time every once in a while, but as far as a regular occurrence, this is much more beneficial in the short term and the long term for you
Mhm.
physically.
Certainly. And I myself have been doing some cold plunging things to your brother and, kind of doing some stuff on my own. And it's a passion of mine. So I talk to some people and they say, oh, I hate it, or I hate cold water, or I want to do it, but I tried it and my feet kill me. What do you say to some people that are um that have those reactions to the concept of cold plunging. Because the sauna, I think for the most part, people get that's an easy barrier to entry, if you will.
So the cold plunge is hard. I'm not going to beat around the bush and say, oh, it's going to be a pleasurable massage experience that you're going to absolutely love. I think the after effects of it, you will. I've been doing this, I've been cold plunging for a little over 2 years. I haven't met someone that felt worse coming out of the cold plunge than they did before. Every person that was either skeptical, hesitant, scared, we talked them through it. They the first 30 to 90 seconds are difficult. But once your body acclimates, once you focus on your breathing, it's just an amazing feeling. You come out of there and the dopamine just spikes, goes up about 200%, and you feel almost high. You do practically feel high when you come out of the cold plunge.
Yeah, I remember there was a Joe Rogan podcast. They asked him, what is it? What kind of feeling would you want every day? He's like, I want that feeling. The moment I come out of the cold plunge, I want to feel that all day long. And
It's almost that grit,
go ahead.
that grit and uncomfort. It's like, obviously we all want to be comfortable. People are used to such a complacent, easygoing lifestyle this day and age, I think especially, where everything is a convenience, with our phones and fast food. The cold plunge makes you do something that's uncomfortable, and you get that reward mechanism in your brain that you did something that was uncomfortable. It was like getting up and going for a walk and getting up and training heavy. It's that reward mechanism that you did something you didn't really want to do. Because look, yeah, who wants to go in 40-degree water? That's when you're speaking out loud, that sounds insane. But when you know the health benefits, if you're only doing the 40 or 50-degree water for 3.5 minutes, 4 minutes, 6 minutes, the reward for doing that is just exponential. It's indescribable almost.
What are some of the rewards that people may, look forward to essentially? What are the major like overarching benefits that are from you get from cold plunging?
Well, I mean, there's research out there, and then there's what I have my own personal experiences. I instantaneously, when I come out, I feel just good. I feel high. I feel refreshed. I feel at ease. I honestly get a little euphoric and tired afterwards. I've spoken to a lot of people, and my brother even he gets energized after he cold plunges. I honestly, I get tired and sleepy and just kind of want to just relax and be in my thoughts on the couch after I'm done cold plunging, or just even take a nap or go to sleep and just rest. It increases dopamine. It improves your sleep. It even improves weight loss. It's got a crazy amount of physical and mental health benefits from
Mm.
just doing 11 minutes a week.
11 minutes a week. That's a protocol, so to say.
It's a protocol. I believe Dr. Huberman came out with that research on that he says 11 minutes a week of cold plunge and 41 minutes a week of sauna. That's the recommended amount.
So okay, so that's a cumulative.
Correct.
11. So you can break that up 5 minute, a 6 minute session,
Correct.
three, okay, 4 3 minute sessions, and then 41 minutes of sauna as well, correct?
Correct. Broken up through the week over a 7-day week. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend going into the cold plunge for 11 minutes straight and not coming back for a week. I'd
Gotcha.
recommend
Well, yes, it's
it. It's a little chilly.
a little bit, yeah. And I understand there are some, you know, adverse effects for staying in too long as well, correct?
Correct. Yes. I mean, your body's smart. Your body has a pre-programmed computer inside of it. When you start to shiver, get out. I mean, that's a normal response. Just like if you were sick, you begin to sweat and get toxins out. And your body is so smart. If you're in the water and you're shivering, it's time to get out. Whether that's 3 minutes or 7 minutes, and we're all there to kind of observe that and walk you through it as well.
Mm, that's amazing, man. That's amazing. So, yeah, this is such a powerful journey that you've been on. Do you mind going into a little bit of what led you there without getting
Sure.
personal?
Yeah.
But this is something
Of
that
course. Yeah.
seems very
Absolutely.
intriguing.
I went through a really hard time in 2021. I was in a toxic relationship that ended abruptly. Was in a toxic business relationship that um, almost ruined my business. Essentially, did a previous business I had, and then my best friend in the entire world suddenly fell ill and passed away suddenly right in front of me. And it was like three really bad things, especially that last one, all at once. And I just became extremely depressed, developed anxiety. I would just have constant panic attacks. I've never had that happen in my entire life. I was just very, very, very depressed. Didn't want to get out of bed, barely wanted to eat. And this lasted for a long time. I mean, over almost a year, trying to self medicate, trying different things to distract myself, and nothing was working. And it was very unhealthy for me physically and mentally, what I was putting my body through and putting those around me that cared about me through. So it kind of led me to that conversation with my brother. He's like, "Hey, you ever tried cold plunge?" And I was like, "No, I've never tried it." And the first time I did it with him, and it was night and day how I felt. I was able to like open up. I felt like myself again. It was just, I was like, this is like, everyone's got to do this. This is like a drug that's legal and essentially no side effects.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Except getting a little cold, but
If you're getting a little cold, yeah. But
that's unbelievable to hear, where you were and where, this practice has helped guide you. I mean, I know a number of people that are stuck in life, that are, in that depression, that really don't know what they want to do, different things of that nature. What would you say and how would you advise them? I mean, it seems like you were in a similar position with all of the loss on top of it, man. I can't imagine. What advice do you have for a younger version of yourself?
I would say just to try to find your purpose. I think we look for gratification through a lot of outside things, whether that might be people, whether that might be food, whether it might be alcohol, drugs, whatnot. I think finding your purpose and your passion is really important. And you may not have that. Like I've had previous businesses that I made, did really well from and had zero passion. I couldn't stand them. I couldn't stand the people, couldn't stand the, industry, but I was doing it for the time being, and everything led to this. And just know that it's never too late. You're never at the end of your road. I think introducing things into your life that give you that reward mechanism, like cold plunge, like a hard workout, are really good for your mental clarity. I would advise my younger self or someone out there watching this to at least try one thing a day that you're slightly uncomfortable doing, and see if anything changes.
Wow. Try one thing a day
Hmm.
that you're slightly uncomfortable doing. If it isn't a cold plunge or a sauna, what does it look like for you?
Me, well, I mean, I do like doing this. I like lifting weights and training, so I go to the gym 4 or 5 days a week. But I would advise. Sometimes even if I worked out or didn't work out that day, it was a rest day. I'm in my own head or in a mood, and I didn't cold plunge. I'll go for a walk. I'll go for like a 2 mile walk and just listen to an audiobook or a podcast or the Bible app on my phone. It's you can easily sit there in bed and lay around and be on TikTok all day and get in, feel sorry for yourself, or you can get up and get the blood flow going and make a change.
Mm, okay. And that's beautiful, man. That's a move that energy around in your body, get moving and getting fresh air. I know that's very, very
So
important that a lot of people don't do. It's a little easier for us down here in Florida.
even something simple as water. If I was having a tough day previously, I would call my best friend up, and first thing he would say to me, "Did you have coffee today yet?" I am addicted to coffee. I love coffee. I drink one a day. I have to have it as soon as I wake up. I like black iced coffee. It's my favorite thing. Or he'll say, "Did you drink enough water?" And that is absolutely true. Most people can improve their life just by having enough water. I mean, this is just spring water with a little bit of Celtic salt in there to get the electrolytes back in. But yeah, it's just drinking enough water. Just something so simple as that can dramatically improve your mental and physical health.
Mm. Was there ever a time in your life where you didn't drink water, where you weren't, I guess, yeah, something as simple as that.
Yes, when I was going through the really bad depression in 2021, I was probably drinking 4 coffees a day, barely eating any calories, probably having 30 ounces of water. I was so not healthy physically just from it was just wasn't even on my mind to drink water. I'm like, oh, I'll just have another coffee. Coffee feels good. I'll just keep drinking espresso and it's giving me energy. So I'll want to get up and do stuff.
Mm.
Yeah, but now it's like even before I have the coffee in the morning, I'll take a couple swigs of water, get the water through my system and make sure I drink close to this gallon a day.
It's amazing. It's interesting. I'll go meet with a client, I have a headache, or I don't feel, I don't have a lot of energy. Well, have you drank any water? Did you sleep? It's like very basic questions that you can ask to get to the core of somebody's like, oh, did you eat? You know what? I haven't eaten since 5 o'clock the night before, and it's 9 a.m. and I'm working out, and I wonder why I'm lightheaded and low energy. It's pretty straightforward. I don't, a lot of people are, it, I feel like this, health thing is it's simpler than it is, than
Absolutely.
it made out to be. And ironically, the concept of getting into cold water is helping, which again doesn't cost anything, is going to help you on your immune system, is going to help you with sleep. It's going to help you with fat loss. It's going to help you with all of these things that are prescribed by medical doctors that want to put you on Ozempic and Xanax and sleep pills and antidepressants and all these A to Z. The one thing that can help is all natural. Get into some cold water. It's just simplification there. It's pretty amazing.
Absolutely. I mean, and medicine does have its place. I do believe, in
Mm-hmm.
extreme circumstances, medicine does have its place. I believe there are other pathways, like we were saying, to, get through these issues of mental health issues or weight loss issues through something simple from as cold water. There's cold water therapy. At least try that first. Try
Mm-hmm.
changing your diet slightly. Try adding more water. And I mean, our bodies are made up of like 80% water. Muscles are 80% water.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, that's a fact.
I get asked all the time, "Oh, what do you take as a pre-workout?" Nothing. I drink water with Celtic salt in there. You get the best pump from water and adding a little bit of salt in there, a little bit of sodium.
Mm. How old are you again?
38.
Okay. So I'm like a lot of people are our age, if you will, are
Mm.
in the ballpark of have taken pre-workout and can't really do that anymore. So I know I find myself in the like, not for me. My heart does not want that anymore.
I just don't like it. I mean, most of the pre-workouts there have weird, ingredients in them. And I don't eat, I don't want to say that I'm the cleanest eater in the world. Probably eat 80% clean. But I
Mhm.
do love fries and pizza and chicken fingers and all that stuff. But a lot of the stuff in the pre-workouts, I can't pronounce. I don't know what they are. There's different dyes in there. And I've taken them before. I don't like the way they make me feel. Like I like working out enough where I can get the energy up myself to just have my coffee, have my, meal, one or two meals in, and just some water with, creatine and Celtic salt. And that's enough for me to get motivated and have a great workout. I don't need, you know, 500 milligrams of caffeine in a mixed, limeade drink to make me go to the gym.
Mm.
I mean,
Yeah.
no offense to anyone out there that does need that. I mean, the supplement companies are making zillions of dollars off pre-workout, so they must be doing something right. People like it. It doesn't work for me. I don't need it.
Yeah, some people need that kick in the ass, if you will, but it's more power to you that you don't need it. And like let's dive a little bit. I mean, take us a little more on the journey that is Brian Cohen. How did we get to this individual who we are today? Life's work now. What other hobbies do you have? What other interests are in your book, so to say?
I like socializing with friends. I love meeting new people. I'm really passionate about this current business I'm working on. I've got big plans for it in the future. A few things which we don't really want to be premature and talk about, but we've got, a 2 to 5 year plan we want to do with this company. I'm working on that all the time. I previously had a digital marketing company
Hmm.
in different industries I was working on, or that I had several different clients. I played professional golf earlier in my life, many moons ago in my 20s. So that's long ago. I don't play anymore, but that's pretty much it. I'm a pretty simple guy.
Professional golf, huh?
Yeah, simple, complicated guy.
Simple, complicated guy. I think think a lot of people would describe themselves as that, especially men. I'm simple, but I'm a little complicated, you know?
I'm pretty easygoing.
As anyone have I ever dated? Yeah, he's simple, but he's a little complicated.
Same here. I hope no one's watching
Yeah.
this. No.
Dude, you were a professional golfer?
Yeah, earlier in my early 20s, I did it briefly on and off for a few years. It's really difficult, especially nowadays, to make it in golf. It's expensive, it's hard on your body, but it was at least something I tried. I learned a lot from it, met a lot of great people. It was very good character development. I would encourage all my friends that have kids, I encourage them to get them into golf. It's such a great sport to learn, especially at a young age, because it develops character. You have to be honest, you have to learn how to meet people. It takes etiquette. Like you typically don't, you run into all kinds of people playing golf tournaments, professional golf, but you don't typically meet, sleazy people that are trying to play golf at a high level. It does generally bring that higher character person out for the
Mm.
most part.
Yeah, it's funny. I got into golf a lot when I was younger. Well, no, when I was like in college.
Mm-hmm.
And I would go and we'd have I would never go unless I had a whole foursome. Then I would go with just me and my buddy. And then I loved it so much I was just going alone. And you get paired up. And I can't say that it was one time that I got paired up with somebody who I wouldn't enjoy having a beer with.
That's good.
Those guys were like decent human beings. And
Mm-hmm.
I think I concur what you're saying in the sense of the level of character that it takes. Maybe does it take to play that sport, or is it the level of character that people bring to the sport? What would you say?
That sport isn't. It's a lot like uh, weightlifting or bodybuilding. There's not a lot of instant gratification in golf. Like when you begin golf, you're not going to be good at it. It takes a long time to get decent at it. So I think it's almost similar on that similar path of cold plunge, where it takes grit and effort and hard work to develop skill set with it. So I think that it's almost like the never giving up, not quitting aspect of someone that would play golf or enjoy playing golf.
Hmm. I never looked at it like that. I mean, when I first got out there, it was very intimidating. We would
Mm-hmm.
go to the driving ranges, and I played hockey. I played
Right.
lacrosse. I have good hand-eye coordination. Things were going. Hey, so I'm like, oh yeah, I'll be fine. Balls are going left, right, this way, that way, this way. One down the middle. Oh. And then I got out there and I was so nervous my first round of golf, and I'm hitting it and it's not going anywhere. And there's people behind me and there's people in front. You got to keep up. And I look
Mm-hmm.
over. I'm like, that guy missed a shot. The guy I'm golfing with kind of sucks. These other two, they don't know what they're doing. And to me, it was very assuring that everybody else sucked. And it kind of calmed me down. I'm like, oh, everybody sucks this thing. There's no professionals out here other than you. But that was I don't know. That was my experience in the beginning of golf. I never, I tried to get to that level where you were, but I didn't have the commitment, man. I just couldn't do it.
It's hard, and I get like obsessed with certain things, and I got just really really kind of like the way I am with Sauna and Chill. I just got really into it and really obsessed with it, and I'm like, I'm going to be really good at this. I'm going to hit balls for 10 hours a day and play with people that are better than me. I was letting them beat me, and I would play them for a drink or $5 or something, and I would lose, and it would just make me want to just be better. I'm like, I'm going to beat that guy one day. I'm going to beat that guy one day, and I would not let that get out of my head. It just made me work that much harder. I've told someone recently, I'm like, I think you're the top 3 or 5 people you hang around. If you hang out with people that are better than you, that are, more successful than you, I think you will be that fourth or fifth person in that circle.
Mm. I love that. I could not agree more. But how do you apply that to your life today? With the being out of golf, how do you do that now?
I keep a very small circle. I maybe only have, to be honest, 2 or 3 close friends that I talk to on a regular basis, besides my brother and, my business partners. I just have a hard time. It might be an issue I have to deal with of letting people into my life, like letting new people into my life, because I just have such a high standard for whether it's a someone I'm dating or just even a normal friend or someone I meet. I just have such a high checklist of qualification, I would let them into my life, because I don't want to be around people that aren't going to push me to be better. I don't
Mm.
want to be around someone that's going to drag me down or hold me back from the goals and the mission that I'm on at this point in my life.
You had to define that mission. What would it say?
I want Sauna and Chill to be in every city. I want to have 100 franchises, in the next 5 or 10 years. We have really, really big goals for this business. I
Mm.
want to, I just want to see it succeed. And I'm working with amazing people. My brother, obviously, and my two other partners, they're amazing, amazing humans. I'm so blessed and thankful that they came into my life and they believed in us and they believed in the concept. And we're just super excited to get this first one open and really run with this concept.
Mm. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it come to fruition, man. I know that, we had a couple of like farmers markets where we brought the cold plunge out, and people are always very intimidated in the beginning. They're like, come on, I've arm's distance. Then towards the end of the day, oh, that water warmed up a little bit, can I jump in? And then people get in, and it's like they're addicted, and it's a pretty amazing thing to see. And I'm really excited to see where this goes for you guys. I mean, I'm one of your biggest supporters. I mean, I love it, man. It's to hear it to go, every city. That's amazing, man. That's
Really
that's
appreciate
that's a,
that.
that's a big goal. How do you manage such a big goal?
And then I take it one day at a time, take it one step at a time. I mean, that's obviously the big goal, but the short term goal is, what am I going to accomplish today? What emails do I have to answer to? Um, the marketing and the content creation. I break it up into small steps. That's obviously the big goal, but I only can execute what I can control that's right in front of me. I don't like to get too ahead of myself, but I just wanted to share that little secret of what we do want to do with it eventually. But it's short term goals, and you achieve the short term accomplishments, and then that'll propel yourself to the longer, bigger goals.
Yeah, I mean, if you could just elaborate a little bit on that in terms of, it's 2024. Everyone's got New Year's resolutions. I want to lose weight. I want to read X amount of books. I want to do X, Y, and Z. I want 2024 to be my year.
New year, new me.
New year, new me. You know all the sayings. I almost said BS, but you know what? Why can't it not be BS? And you know what? Why can't it be the truth? And how are you making it a possibility of truth, Brian?
Because you do one that, like I was speaking earlier, you do that one thing each day that was different, that was a change that you were a little bit uncomfortable to do, and they'll propel you to do the next thing, whether it's making your bed, whether it's drinking 16 ounces of water as soon as you wake up, whether it's going for a walk or being in the sun. Just do that one thing, whether it's praying. I called my best friend today after the gym and I said, you know what, I'm going to call you every day for the next 7 days, and we're gonna pray together on the phone, and I'm going to tell you what I'm grateful for. And he's like, I love that. I was going through a little funny stuff the last couple of weeks with the holidays and whatnot, and I just I'm just going through it and I'm trying, and I don't want to let it affect my life. And I was leaving the gym today. I'm in the locker room. A guy complimented me, told me how great I'm looking. I'm like, I really appreciate that. It's just as I'm walking, man, you look great, brother. I'm like, thank you so much. And I left. I called my best friend on the phone. I said, yeah, this really nice guy complimented me in the gym. And I said, you know what? For the next 7 days, I'm going to call you on the phone every day, and we're going to pray together. And he's like, I love that. That's something new. I'm going to try something new. It's, a week and a half into 2024, whatever. And if something doesn't change, it's fine. I'm going to do it 8 days in a row, then 9 days in a row, then 10 days in a row. We're going to keep rolling with that.
Wow. I would have never thought of to do something like that, but I love it. It's got that touch of community, that touch of accountability, that touch of uncomfortability. Um, wow, that's what I mean. Was there something specific that inspired you to do this?
No, not really. I mean, maybe it was that guy in the gym that just
Compliment.
gave me a compliment. And I just hit a workout. I'm walking out. I know, we had this scheduled today. I had a few other things I had to do, so lots in my mind. And I was like, oh, that was really nice. We should be more encouraging to people this day and age. I think people, especially being on social media and putting content out there now with my business, people, 90% of it is awesome and positive, but you get bozos out there that just want to hate. And why hate on someone? Just encourage people. It's like, you don't have to You have no idea how that one little compliment can literally change someone's day.
Mm.
And also, I think since 2020, people are, or when COVID was happening, I don't say 2020, but people are, this sense of community has kind of been like destroyed a little bit around here. You know, everyone's so behind a screen or behind a computer or behind a dating app. It's nobody goes up to anybody anymore. I think people are scared of getting canceled or being seen as creepy or whatever. But it's like, you know, it's okay to talk to people. It's like that everyone's
Mm. The the haters. How do you deal with the haters, Brian Cohen?
when I experience a hater, I just realize that they're 99% of the time it's from a jealousy standpoint. And I just thank God of how grateful I am to be in the position I'm in, that I feel bad for them. I feel bad for every hater. I never see a hater and I'm like, oh my God, they're right. It's never, not once did it ever happen to me. I'm like, wow, I feel very bad for you. And I hope you find what you're looking for.
Mm. That's amazing. That's a to have pity on the ones that are judging, because you said for no reason, just hating.
Right.
Here hating, man.
People are bored. They don't have a purpose. It goes back to that. I think if you're hating on someone, you have no purpose in your life.
Hmm.
It's funny, a friend of mine, he, not to go off topic, I'm not super political or want to get into political stuff, but he'll fire off political articles to me on Instagram and I will never respond to one. Like, I don't care. It's all negative. I can't control that. Like, I feel like if your life is consumed by that, you don't have a purpose. Like, it's great to have information and know about it, have a passion or be on a team. Like, that's totally cool. But it's like if you're like consumed with that information, like 24 hours a day, like there's no purpose behind it.
Hmm. What is your purpose?
That's always changing, obviously, to serve God, help the community, be the best version of myself. I mean, I feel like my purpose right now is this getting this business off the ground and making it successful. But your purpose change can, evolve through your life. Obviously, if you're a family man now, you're not, it's I feel like your purpose is what you are in that moment or in that short time frame.
Hmm. I love that. On that note, when it's all said and done, how does Brian Cohen want to be remembered? Whether they put you in a box, they put you in an urn, how do you want to be remembered?
I just want to be remembered of having great character. Um, I think that's the big one to me. I think I feel like I hold myself to a high accountability of character and integrity, and that's how I want to be remembered.
Mm. Why is holding yourself to high character so important to you?
I think character is a very important trait in someone. I think you could be the most beautiful, aesthetic person in the world. If you have bad character, then you're ugly to me. It's just that's the most important thing is character and how you treat others, how you act in your day to day life, how real you are. Like, you've got great character. I've known you for some time now. You have really high character. I like to associate with people that have really high character, and I hold myself such a high standard of, you know, when you go in, if you bring a guest to the gym and they sneak in there, you go pay for them. It's like I own a business. I want people to treat me like that, of like being a business owner, and you don't want to have to get away with something. It's all character, of
Hmm. Thank you very much, man. I really appreciate that.
course.
And you as well are a man of high character, high values, and high standards. That's why I'm, super blessed to have you in my life, and why I'm so grateful to continue the relationship, man. As you said,
Likewise.
it's the top five, bro. It's the five people you surround yourself with. Is you're gonna be the sixth.
Absolutely, and it's I'll call you and we'll talk about things. It's like, do you wouldn't want to call broke people for financial advice, or people struggling for financial advice. You don't want to call divorced people for relationship advice. It's like you have to keep the people around you that you bring these issues to, with the right in the right circle.
Yeah. Yeah, man. That's a I was talking about that with a mentor of mine recently in terms of, who you bring your either baggage or kind of struggles to.
Hmm.
And like, are the people that you're going to, are they where you want to be financially, mentally, physically, spiritually, professional? Are they where you want to be in those 5 areas? And if they are in some and maybe others, are you asking the right questions to the right people, essentially?
Right.
I never realized that, because a lot of times I'll have, my own struggles, and because I'm comfortable talking to my boy about the struggle, he ain't like much further along in dealing with the same struggle, or has never even dealt with the struggle. So I'm asking this guy for advice how to build a building. He's never laid a brick. Like, what are we doing here? And that advice from that mentor, I was like, wow, it really opened my eyes up to where I was getting my advice from.
And that's important to say, and that's great that your friends or your mentor is honest with you, because I experienced that too. I asked one of my friends something about my business. He's like, look, I'm not a businessman. That's on you guys. I don't want to get. I don't want to. I just, it was just an opinion on some kind of campaign I was trying to run. I was like, all right, I respect that. You don't know. You're not going to ask me for advice on how to code a website. I don't know.
Yeah, it's very important to where we seek our advice, man. I can't stress that enough, because so many times I've gone to people seeking advice, got the wrong advice, acted on that advice, and look back, what were you thinking? What were you thinking?
Yeah, it's you want to make sure you're getting advice from people that are in a clear mental state. They're not going through I mean, everyone deals with issues with trauma and stuff at the time. It's you want, if you're trusting in someone's opinion coming from a vulnerable place, you want to make sure they're mentally stable and competent enough to deliver that advice. I've had some of my friends give me a call wanting something like, hey, I can't talk about this right now, to be honest with you. I want to think about this, tonight. I'm dealing with 9 million things right now. So, but I try to be honest with people in that regard. If they want to say, hey, can you give me advice on, this person I'm talking to? I'm like, honestly, I can't right now. I'm dealing with a couple things, and let me think about this later and get back to you with some sound
Mm.
advice if you still want to talk.
And that very much speaks to, your honesty and your character, in the sense of, like, I may not be the best person for this right now, at this, whether it be this moment, or as you were referring to before, like, I'm not that guy. Like your friend did. I'm not the business guy. I don't really know. A lot of people let their egos take over and say, well, oh, I know a little bit about this, so I'll just advise somebody and have no idea where it's going to go.
Exactly.
It's insane, man. When you're giving advice, what are the set of values or standards that you're going through in your mind when you're giving advice before you give it?
I wouldn't tell someone something to do that I would be not comfortable doing myself. I wouldn't tell someone, I would try not to give bad advice out. I try to give as neutral advice as possible too, whether it's two different people involved. I try to see things from all perspectives as well. Like if someone comes to me with a situation they're dealing with, like it's happened to me yesterday. Somebody came with me in a a work/friendship conflict they were having, and I tried to give that person as neutral advice as possible. And it maybe wasn't something they wanted to hear fully, but I worded it in a way that was from a loving standpoint of hey, that's, I could see where they were coming from from this standpoint, but the way they reacted was wrong. So you shouldn't feel bad. But next time you're in a situation, I would do X, Y, Z. And they actually, they're like, wow, that makes a lot more sense. I'm like, yeah, you didn't do anything wrong, but it's just from a more seeing all sides of it when I'm giving advice.
A lot of the message there is love your neighbor as yourself. Is kind of what
Right.
what resonated with me as you were expressing it there.
Right.
And I know your religion's very important to you. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm a Christian. My mom took me to church when I was very little. I love it, and I don't want to come on here and say that I'm a saint whatsoever. Like we all have our own issues, but I the Bible. God has been in my life for a long time, is present all the time. I feel his presence. I've been through some things, and I knew the only person I could rely on was God. And I will stand by that. And I respect all religions and all cultures, but this is what I believe. And I think it's important to have have that type of belief in your life.
Why?
I think it gives you purpose and holds you accountable.
Hmm.
Accountability is a big deal. If I didn't have the religious purpose, I'd be running all over town acting like a fool. It's and I only do it once a month. No, I'm kidding. Limit the
What
foolish behavior.
when it comes to accountability, I mean, I was raised a Roman Catholic,
Mm,
and there's the old, adage, Catholic guilt.
mm.
And a lot of that was, you were held accountable or else you'd feel guilty. So where's that line drawn for you, whether it be, for accountability or for guilt? Where is that, like, how would you, I don't know. Yeah, where's that line drawn for you?
It's a fine line. It takes a lot for me to feel guilty. I have felt that before, and that's not a good feeling. But when you've really crossed that line of feeling guilty, and if I do feel guilty, I try to ask for forgiveness, obviously from God. I can be held accountable. I am my biggest critic. I do look within in most situations that I'm in, and do like to see things from other perspectives. So if I am guilty of something, I do hold myself to that standard to apologize for that, and try to learn from that and be better. We can always be better. I'm not perfect by any means.
Mhm.
Um, sin like crazy. It's just a part of the world we're in, this culture. But I always try to be the best version of myself.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you for that honest and vulnerable answer, because it's something that I know I'm not the only one struggling with, organized religion's concept of accountability versus guilt. Um, but it seems like, that self-awareness has really helped you to be more accountable and be a better version of yourself, essentially.
Right. Right, and also reading different books. Aside from the Bible, I like to read and gather information, just really learn a lot about yourself, because you might pick up a little blurb through a book or through an audio book the second or third time you listen to it, and you can relate to that and really resonate with something. And wow, I'm like that too. And it's interesting to always be evolving. I think if you're not growing, you're dying.
Mm. With that being the subject, if you're not growing, you're dying. It's 2024. What are what are some books, maybe three, rattle off a couple that you would recommend for someone to start this new year the right way?
My favorite book is Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. I've read that book 25 times. It's amazing. I think most successful entrepreneurs and businessmen have read that book. It's so good. I learned some, like I said, I've read it 25 times, 20 times, something like that. I will hear or see something new in that book every time I read it. I love that book. I would highly recommend it. I've bought that book for numerous amounts of people too, just because I just really love it.
Amazing. Any other
Another
gems?
Another one I really like as well is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I think that's helped me a lot with interacting with people, in the business world and in my personal life. I really, really like that book a lot. Just got to be careful with that book. You can use some of the stuff in that book for bad. If you're if you're that kind of person, there's some different mental. I don't want to say games, but paths you can use that book for negative if you're that type of individual. But it's good information. I read, what was another one I read recently that was pretty good? started the David Goggins book. It was a little like dark for me in the beginning. It was also in the morning. I didn't get through that one.
That's a tough
Um,
book to listen. Well, the audio of that is very good.
it is. It was good, but I was like, there was like the beginning of it where he's
It's
going through the abuse. I'm like, this is
scary,
supposed to be
dude.
8 in the morning. I'm like, I gotta get out of here. Let's put some music on or something.
Yeah, it's not how you want to start your day.
As my dad's beating me, and I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, no, it's some real stuff. That's a powerful story.
It is. I've got a few. Getting ready. I think the Simple Art of Not Giving a F. I read that one. There was a few. It was okay. There was a few little bits in there that I resonated with the author, but you don't want to go through life just not giving a fuck. It's like that's you want to care. You want to give an F. It's
Hmm.
with most things. The one I have and I haven't began was the 48 Laws of Power, which again I've heard good and bad things from that book. Like you can use that for bad or use it for good, but I think out of the 48, there's got to be 11 of them that are good. So I'm gonna read that one just to get use it from an information standpoint, just to so I'm more self aware when I'm dealing with people, especially in the cutthroat business world that we're in.
Certainly. And I think, as you're mentioning these books like How to Win Friends and Influence People, The 48 Laws of Power, I think that an individual such as yourself with such high character doesn't have a thing to worry about with gaining that knowledge, acquiring that power, if you will,
We
because you're doing the right thing on other most, in all the other areas of your life to upkeep your character. Therefore, I don't think somebody like yourself has much to worry about in that sense.
I, I appreciate you saying that, but I've been in situations where you're really tempted to do things that you shouldn't be doing. So I just you always have to be careful when you have that sort of information in your brain or at your fingertips. I'm always on my toes about like, am I manipulating this person? Like I don't want to do that. It's like sometimes when you've read the book so often you come off doing that in a way, and it's not great. So, I thank you. I do like to hold myself in a high regard and high character, but you always have to be on your toes and watching yourself.
Certainly. Certainly. Like in the moment, how do you watch yourself, if you will?
It depends on the situation, but kind of just take a moment, either run to the restroom or take a break and say, is this really the right thing to be doing, or should I go down? Because there's two forks in the road. You either go this way or that way, and you're you're always one good decision away from improving your life or one bad decision away from ruining your life.
Mm.
And one bad decision, one bad person, one bad relationship can really set the course of your life down a dark, painful path.
Yeah. Why? I agree. Why do you say that though?
Because I've been in those situations before. I've went down that path B thinking this is going to be all roses and butterflies, and it was darkness and caves and it's not good. It's someone or something that looks all pretty and beautiful can really set you off a course of destruction. And it's not. You have to really be self-aware. I think anyone you meet in your life is either a lesson or a blessing, and I'm thankful for those lessons that I've had in my life, and I'm thankful for the blessings and anticipating more blessing individuals to come in 2024.
Either a lesson or a blessing.
Mm.
I think that's the first time I've heard that. I've heard it expressed in different ways. A lesson or a blessing. Hmm. Could they be both?
I think a lesson turns out to be a blessing. I think maybe not at the same time. Like if, for example, this didn't happen to me, but if you're dating someone and they cheat on you, you're obviously depressed. But what lesson did you learn? Did you what patterns did you learn that they were doing that you can learn from that when you go into your next relationship. And that ended up being a blessing that you didn't end up with that person. I am so blessed that I didn't end up with any of the previous, girls I've dated in the past. In the moment when you go through a breakup or you guys stop talking or a little situationship or whatever, it's over. Like, I'm the saddest person in the world. I'm putting on my sad girl playlist, not nonstop. But a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months go by, and you look back as you've grown as a person and developed your character a little bit more. You're like, man, I'm so glad I end up with that person. It's like it's crazy how you can look back on. I look back on the version I was 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm so glad I did not end up with that person. My life would have been down a different trajectory, and I'm glad that didn't happen because I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now and be here with you.
Amen to that, man. Here's to the lessons. Here's to the blessings. Here's to the bumps, the forks in the road that lead us to where we're supposed to be.
Absolutely. And now
Amen.
everyone knows I have a sad girl playlist, so I'm glad this is out there on the internet.
Listen, you're definitely not the only one with a sad girl playlist. I'll tell you that right now. I got something similar. Everybody's got something where they're like, you know what? I'm in my vibes right now. I need to feel it. I need to feel it. And
I
good for
was out
you.
with someone about a month. I was out with someone a month ago, and she says to me, she goes, "What type of music you listen to in the gym?" I'm like, either trap, rap, or sad girl, indie, depressing playlist. I'm extreme. I'm one or the other. I'm like,
I love that. I love that, man. I'm either banging my head or holding my head in my hand crying. That is that's beautiful, man. That is all the aspects of life, all the emotions that we're supposed to feel while we're here on this ride.
absolutely. And it's just enjoy the ride, enjoy the moment. Um, Not every day isn't promised, so just appreciate the moment. And you know I'm looking forward to that everyday prayer where I'm going to call up my friend Sam. I'm going to say what I'm grateful for. It's going to last 25 seconds, and like doing something for 25 seconds out of your day that you don't normally do. I really hope and pray that changes my thought process and my you know pathway for 2024.
Wow. I'm sure it will, man. I'm sure it will. And I want to challenge anyone that's listening to this now to to do that uncomfortable thing. Do what it is that you know intuitively that you should be doing. Whether that's calling a friend and saying a prayer, whether that's getting in some cold water, whether that's drinking the water that you should be drinking, getting to bed at the right time. What is that one thing? Do it for 7 days. See if it sticks. I want to
cut
challenge.
cut out cut out TV and read a book for an hour. I mean, it's I mean, and anything like that. I mean, it's we're all, like I said, we're all just so used to comfort and just that monotony of every day, and you don't want to do something that's uncomfortable because you don't want to feel uncomfortable. You don't want to build that grit. But trust me, it will. It is so rewarding to do something that you're uncomfortable doing.
Hmm. Well, I don't think there's much left to be said after that, my man. That is a way to close it.
And to be honest with you, if you would ask me to do this a year ago, I probably would have been super uncomfortable.
Mm. Well, here's another thing you're doing that's
Yeah,
uncomfortable.
I love it now. I'm so grateful that you had me on here. I'm so glad my brother introduced us a while back, and I wish you all the best in 2024. You're going to kill it. Um, you're definitely in my top five. And anything you need, I'm always here for you. And I appreciate the support with Sauna and Chill.
Thanks, brother. I really appreciate that. Thank you for your time. A. B. What can we do? Me and my millions of listeners here, what can we do to support you?
You could follow us on Instagram. We could drop the handle in there. It's sauna_and_chill. Follow us on
Mhm.
Instagram. Support the content, like the reels. We would really appreciate that. Like I said, our first location is going to be in South Tampa. So if you're in Southwest Florida or in Tampa, please come out. We're going to have a big grand opening in February. We're going to have a soft opening, God willing, into this month. Um, if you want to get in cold water, learn more about it, shoot us a DM. I mean, I handle all the social media right now, so I'll answer any questions regarding cold plunge or sauna therapy. how it works. But I mean, honestly, just to follow on social media and just support the content, like a post is that means the world to me. If you reshare the content, I would love that.
Hey man, let's get that amazing content that you've been putting together with your nerdy brother out there. Let's
My
get it
nerdy brother's gonna get
circulating.
mad at me. I'm drinking out of plastic, but it's okay.
Dude, that's what makes him your nerdy brother, man. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
he's the best.
That's beautiful. Well, dude, thanks again. It's been such an honor and such a pleasure. Thank you for your time. I'm gonna sign off here, bro.
Of course, thanks. Have a great day.